Okay, the fourth side of your box is going to be the trickiest. And what I recommend is that you get everything slipped and scored, and then you flip this over because the weight of the box itself will help you to get a good seal there. So it's really scary, but you're going to flip. And then you still need to work that coil in there, which luckily these boxes are big enough. That shouldn't be a problem. So you're gonna reach inside, start with the coil on the corner there. Always supporting the outside wall when you're putting pressure. Okay, I'm gonna skip on the sewing a little bit and move on. And then at this point, you might wanna take a look at the outsides of your seams. Make sure that there's a seal on that too. So I'm gonna just very gently, trying not to destroy my drawing, blend these edges together. Just like with coil building, if you can still see the line between the two, it's not blended enough. And it's kind of tempting to get really excited about the drawing part and doing nice textures and carving and stuff, but really you need to focus on getting the walls put together, because once this clay is leather hard, it's really difficult to get that good blend and seal, and your box is more likely to fall apart. Conversely, when the box is leather hard, it's easier to do the carving and the texture and so on. Okay, so we've got our four sides, and you're saying, okay, what about the bottom? Instead of trying to figure out the math and cut a perfect square, and especially because this is your first box you've ever made, so it might not be a perfect square, what you're gonna do is roll out another slab, and it's better if it's not so floppy, but it still works. So I'm gonna put the box right on top of that, leaving room for my lid as well. And then cut, leaving about 1/4 of an inch margin. Okay, so a little bit of extra clay. And I bet you know what's next. Slip and score. Let's pretend I've added slip, I've scored again. And that little bit of extra clay gives me something to blend. So just kind of like with the coil, you're gonna sew by dragging the clay from that little edge into the box itself. And then I like to use this angle to kind of scrape away a little bit of extra, blend it in. So you'll want to take your time, but I'm gonna go super fast. So I can show you the lid. Never a bad idea to support from the inside while you're blending from the outside. Now for the lid. So because my clay is super floppy, I'm gonna make my lid and leave it upside down until it's more set up. So again, instead of trying to measure the perfect square, I can set my box down. I can even kind of pat it a little bit, hoping it'll make a little bit imprint in the clay. Just in case that imprint doesn't show up, I'm also gonna trace the outside. Pick up my box. And I'm going to cut right up to the edge. So no margin this time, because we don't need the lid to hang over. But what we don't want is for our lid to fall every time we pick up our box. So you've got to make an inside foot so that when we put the lid in, it sits, and if you tilt your box a little bit, your lid isn't gonna fall. So you just take some of your slab scraps, cut some stripes. I can see just barely that when I tapped on the box, it made a line right about here. So I'm gonna make my lip just inside of that. Here we go again. Slip and score. And then the next one would go here, and the next one there, and there, and so on. That is how you create your lip. Now, by the time you get your lid done, hopefully the box itself is starting to harden up, and you can kind of go back and do some more drawing and carving on it.